Press conference for Saturday's Big Sky Conference game against Southern Utah. Eccles Stadium in Cedar City, Utah. That'll be a 5:05 Pacific kickoff. As always, you can listen in Sports 1140 or on the TuneIn app at Sports 1140, and you can follow at home through Watch Big Sky. This is also on Pluto.tv. So we have head coach Dan Hawkins. Take it away.
Well, it was a great homecoming event. I thought our staff did an amazing job of preparing the stadium and the events, and record-breaking crowd. Weather was spectacular. Super fun place to be. All that was really cool, and obviously happy to beat Cal Poly and win the Golden Horseshoe. More importantly, I was really happy with really not just how our guys played, but how they approached it. And we've been talking about honoring the details and relentlessly pursuing improvement and doing what's necessary so you can achieve what's possible. And really things that have plagued us a little bit the past few weeks. We had minimal penalties. We did not turn the ball over. We didn't have penalties on special teams. Played really, really clean. They hand the ball to the fullback a bunch, and their quarterback wants to run it. And I thought our D-line, Coach Tucker and the guys did a nice job scheming them up. We did a nice job against the fullback and the quarterback. They hit us on a couple of explosion plays. Give them credit. They did not give up. Tim Walsh had those guys. They were still battling, and I think the game came down to a 10-point game at one point. But it's certainly very clean by our guys, and then Nick had the big play that kind of got us going momentum-wise when we scored on defense and were able to come back and finish. Jake Mayer continues to impress, played a really spectacular game. Lonzie continues to play really well. Really happy that we've had a bunch of receivers step up and fill in roles, and that's been good. We got 3 turnovers and 4 sacks on defense, which is always really huge. By and large, I thought Matt Blair really kicked the ball well on kickoffs, and Dan Whalen continues to do a great job as a punter, and we were able to kind of pin them inside the 10 a couple times, and Daniel doing a really good job punting. So really good win in all 3 phases, a really good night for the Aggies. But the hero's journey continues, and now we're back on the road again and headed to Utah. Seems like our travel planner this year has got us hitting all the destinations in America, and so now we're headed to Utah this week to play a really, in my opinion, an underrated Southern Utah team. Damari Warren, another Aggie, doing a good job of that. They've played some really good football teams, and so we're going to have to play our best again when our best is needed, get on the road and play a night game back there in a different venue against a very good football team. But couldn't be more happy with the way, again, our administration handled homecoming here. Great event. Our guys rallied. Tim Plow and Paul Creighton and Robert Tucker and our staff did a really nice job getting our guys ready to go. So give them a lot of credit.
So what's happened with Southern Utah? 2 years ago, they came in here and go out playing really well.
Yeah.
And then last year just fell off the cliff.
I think you've got a couple things going on in this conference, and I think it probably happens with a lot of the teams in that, A, you have transfers that come in, and I think they can give you some immediate boost. You have that dynamic going on. Obviously, when you deal with the LDS schools of Weber and Southern Utah, your fluctuation of guys going and coming on missions is going to have a dramatic effect on your roster. And then I think Demo's been racked by injuries a little bit, and they face a tough schedule. They've played some really good football teams. So it's interesting, and you know better than I. You've been in this conference longer than I have, of just there's always somebody that's picked in the bottom that ends up being at the top, and somebody that's picked at the top and finishes in the bottom. I think it's part of the excitement of the Big Sky, truthfully. But I think they're a much better football team than what their record indicates. They've just played some really good teams.
When you have a crowd like that, homecoming crowd, beyond capacity, do the guys respond to that, or is
It's fun. It's fun. I mean, every actor, every musician. You enjoy displaying your craft in front of other people, and the energy of the crowd obviously means something to you. It's fun that it's just a great environment. You got the band now out there; they're cranking it out. Maggie the Aggie had Maverick rolling good. You got the kids out there at halftime and in the tunnel. Everybody rolling around on the grass in both of the berms, and plenty of excitement, enthusiasm. It really does add to the juice of the whole environment, and it does mean something for sure.
Yeah, the game environment's been better than I've seen in a long time this year.
I think it's a great family environment, and I know everybody that comes to the game is just really happy with the vibe. Davis is kind of a family-friendly place. It's a family-friendly environment. I think the 4 o'clock game works good because people can get their family things done during the day. You can still come to the game and get home at a reasonable hour. If you're going to drive here from the Bay Area, you can get home at a reasonable hour. If you got kids, you can put them to bed, and if you're Bob Dunning, you can get your story done before deadline hits.
That's right. So what kind of problems does Southern Utah present?
These guys are always, when you play Weber and you play Southern Utah, physically they're always going to be, in my opinion, at the top of the conference because you're dealing, number one, with a lot of older players to begin with. So just the physical nature of those teams always goes up a notch. And they're always big, strong, powerful, athletic. You know that's going to be part of the equation. And as we've said in all of these games, our just margin of error is small. So we just have to play clean and be efficient, and can't beat ourselves, and have to make sure we put our best foot forward.
Anything else, Bob?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining here. Again, the game 6:05 local, 5:05 Pacific. You can listen on Sports 1140 or on the TuneIn app, or watch Big Sky and Pluto TV.
Or read about it in the Davis Enterprise.
Or read about it in the Davis Enterprise,
To add that to
courtesy
the
of Bob Dunning.
Are you
former
tweeting
head
out,
coach.
Bob? Are you tweeting out during the game?
No.
Are you a tweeter?
No.
You're not a tweeter.
No.
Okay.
All right.
I'll leave that to the president.
All right, go Ags.